Greetings, everyone. Lumberg here. Happy Friday. Hope you're getting ready to have a great weekend. Good luck in your respective Void matches. Today's video, even though it's a little late, this is the second time this event has come out. I've been busy, with life, with Civil War, getting banned. But I still wanted to weigh in and do a little bit of math and help maybe those that are still on the fence, those that haven't already blown too much money, or those that are kind of considering when is the right time and if this is a good buy. So let's dive into it. If you look at this costume, it's visually it looks like some type of mix between GTA and the Mockingbird from the Hunger Games series. The costume. Is it original? Highly unlikely. Is this Survivor game that they play original? Also unlikely. I've actually played other games that are like that. But is it neat to kind of integrate the officer features? Yes, very much so. Is it playable without spending? Absolutely not. It's not enjoyable because in that quest to survive 240, you'll probably die if you didn't spend on anything really, really quickly. So it's almost unplayable, just like everything else, right? There's some fun mini games, but you can't even play it at all without a minimal number of spending. Have I spent on it? Not yet. So in order to unlock the skin comes with some effects. All troop attacks plus 2.5%. That applies to all troop types, so long range, melee, mid range, as well as zombies. And some of the other YouTube vets, Woody and Raziel, have already done some analysis on this. So I'm going to just build up upon that and use some of the things that they've done and just add kind of the cost element and the poor man's analysis, right? So each level gives you plus 1% from that 2.5. Of course, as usual, I've built a spreadsheet, and let's look at the analysis, right? So you unlock a special skill at level 3, Gold Bomb 1, and at level 7, Gold Bomb 2. You can see at level 3 that costs 220 fragments, which is suggesting that maybe it's going to be a little bit more better than the effect as described. So, Tifa's breakthrough skill really mattered a lot before there was Titans, before the game advanced and developed with warplanes, and then after that it became a little bit less useful. This makes it maybe relevant again, but we really need to test it and see before and after Gold Bomb 3, Gold Bomb 1, and Gold Bomb 2. What's the effect? The costs are pretty expensive, so this is not a cheap thing. So let's look at those costs. So if you look here, in order to get these items, you have to 30 basically translates to $3, 80, and so on. These are the different packs that you can, these different denominations. You can essentially look at the analysis here where I have the badges needed, the cumulative cost, meaning total, and then incremental, meaning 30 to 80 is 50 more. So that's going to cost what? $5 extra, right? How many Tifa skin fragments are you getting? And then what's the incremental fragments are you getting? And then this is what you want to focus on, the total cost per fragment and the incremental cost per fragment. So if you look at it, the cheapest way and the best way that many people have already figured out, it's probably, you don't need to do a lot of math to figure this out. Common sense kind of tells you, but this math proves out and shows you the best path to do it. So here I've laid out that you can see here that really the first pack of the 3 orders really doesn't get you anything, but you can see that I also put in some cost value here of the other items that you're getting. You're actually getting some pretty decent items. 9 elite orders. There's a gold box. There's 250% speeds, a 1-day peace shield, 200 zombie girl gift, and then even up to the 3rd tier here, there's some warplane, Titan alloy, additional elite orders, Titan XP. So all of these, I've just estimated a cost based on the cheapest pack. So you're getting about $5 worth of items for spending, this $15, right? So $15 gets you 35 frags and is your absolute best deal, meaning it gets you the lowest incremental frag cost and the lowest total cost per fragment. So it's decent up until, this level. And then you can see here it gets really, really out of whack. So you really want to hold off on spending on these massive packs here. I know some people want and still will buy this, but just avoid it, because, and this is the proof. Look at that incremental cost of fragment. Like it starts here. Compare this at around 50 cents to $2, 4 times more expensive and useless, right? So, and then the corresponding gifts, I didn't do these values because I wanted to kind of prove out that, look, you spend $15 here, you get $5 worth of pretty decent items, as well as 35 frags, right? 35 in 3 times. So in about, if it's 3 week frequency, I think this happened about 3 to 4 weeks ago. So in about 3 months or a month and a half, or 2 months, depending on that frequency of when Camel introduces it. This is a moneymaker, so I think they're going to introduce it probably in every 3 weeks. You're going to get it pretty quickly, and you're going to get, that skin unlock, the 2.5%, which isn't probably that great of a spend if you think about it. But if you think about most of the island items that give you about 1%, it costs around that $10 to $15 mark, right? So if you take 2.5 divided by 3, it's right around that island type item, and that's somewhat of the priority of this, right? So meaning you still want to prioritize on getting, your officers, warplane, Titan evolution, Titan equipment over this spend of skin. But if you've already maxed these out and you don't have any more avenues to really increase your strength, then obviously this is going to not be a bad thing. So my overall analysis is that this is cosmetic, but it's really not bad up until level 0, 1, or 2. To get to that level 3, it does cost a lot more, right? So yeah, and as I mentioned here, the best way to get this is to spend $15 3 times. So that's $45 that gets you this, the skin, over 3 event periods. If you got it in the first week, you probably had to spend $65. That's what it needed. So it's $20 extra to not wait. A lot of you have already done this. And then the gold bomb skill, we still need to kind of see it in action. So here, the impact analysis, I didn't get this, but I did watch Raziel's video where he did the right way of doing this, which was, he took a battle against Lead God before he got the skin. And then after he got the skin at level, I think it was 1, and he calculated what the troop difference is. So thank you, Raziel. If you haven't checked out his channel, please check him out and give him the credit that he deserves. So when he did his battle, he basically, after the skin, he killed 3,700 more troops. Lead God had about 603,000. So that calculated to be about a effectiveness of 0.62% net better results, right? So, and then if you just did let's say approximately his LRA is 1,400 to 3.5 because he had it at level 1, level 0 is 2.5. So that would be that would account for about 2.5% increase. But the fact that it also applies to zombies, melee troops, not so much mid-range wouldn't be impactful, but you can see that, yep, that math adds up, and it is kind of giving a as advertised impact. So it's still less than 1% impact, you can see from Raziel's test, and that's for a player that's very strong already. Of course, remember that if your stats are lower and this is giving you a fixed percentage, it's going to be a incrementally higher boost than if your stats are already very high, right? So 1400 LRA to 1403 isn't as impactful as, let's say, 500 to 503. But there's still cheaper ways to get that 3% when you're at that 500 range. So don't get tricked into doing this. So that's kind of the thought process. It really depends. You can see with these costs that level 7 Gold Bomb 2, some people need to test it, and then we can see if it really is going to be worth the cost, or if it's just really truly cosmetic in nature and more of an island item and more for the monsters. If we go back to the game, just based on how much Camel is pushing this, like if you just log in, and I think it's pretty ridiculous, like this is in your face. So if you log into any account, I'm just going to log into one of my farms that hasn't been banned. And if you look at it, every time you log in a new account, it doesn't, it just puts it in your face to advertise, not just once, but twice, right? So you log in, and it's like, okay, I'm going to log into the game and let's see what's going on. Oh, there's Tifa, right? And I think this is really going overboard. This is Camel really, really pushing it. It's okay. It's like, I don't want to see this. And I have to see this in every single account that I log into, right? So, and then you go out to the map, you come back into your city, and then they show it to you again. Like there should be some limitations to this, flaunting of spending. Like I understand this is a business and Camel needs to make money. It is getting to the point where it's just, too much. And you're not getting that much of value from this deal. So, and then, let's just talk about these events, right? It is an indulgence of just too many events, and there's a spending in every single corner. This is probably something that Camel really needs to get in check. How you can combat it is just don't, buy into it. You don't have to play all the events. You don't have to get all the items. Stand firm of what you want to do and what you can afford to do and what you get enjoyment with. If you're not getting enjoyment with it, don't do it. Okay, let's see. What else did I want to show? Yeah, what is interesting is that, the skins does build a foundational, so it's not just the stats, right? It's impacting the breakthrough skill. So that does seem like an item that, if you don't get it, you're going to be behind. But again, it is expensive and it needs to be tested of how effective it is, right? So that's Gold Bomb 1. The way it's described, it doesn't look too great. And then even in Gold Bomb 2, it says, here it's like, times 2, and just if it's times 2, meaning is it just 38 to 40 or is it 38 times 276? That needs to be kind of determined. And it, again, based on the cost, Camel will adjust it regardless of what the description is. If it costs a lot of money, it's going to be effective, right? So that's the trend that is pretty solid. So that's it that I have on this topic. I will make some other videos. Good to be back. And again, good luck in everyone's Void. We have 52 in Void, and it's going to be a tough matchup. We're in Civil War. And 52 is very, very strong. They've beaten us once, one of our only 2 losses. So this is our chance to avenge it. But it's going to be hard in Civil War. Oh, last thing I wanted to say, they did add, for those that have maxed out the merits, they did add, I think in a game update last night, 3 more ranks for the military ranks. I'm very, very far from it, but maybe those in the old nations can actually get these boosts. Pretty decent, especially the fleet size is going to be pretty impactful. All right, that's it. Have a great weekend, everyone.